Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 6 of Pantry Preparedness with Lisa Sutton. I believe that real peace of mind starts in the most important place in your home, your kitchen. Think about it. We insure our cars, our homes, even our health. We plan for retirement, we save for a rainy day. But what about the one place we turn to every single day for comfort and security? Our pantry. This podcast isn't about fear, it's about freedom. Freedom from stress when life throws you a curveball, whether it's a snowstorm, a job loss, or just a week too busy for grocery runs. A well prepared pantry means you can always take care of the ones you love. Here on Pantry Preparedness, I'll share simple, practical strategies to help you stock smarter, store better, and turn your pantry into the best insurance policy you'll ever own. From saving money to stretching meals, you will learn how to build resilience right at home. So I hope that you subscribe today wherever you listen to podcasts and join me on Pantry Preparedness with Lisa Sutton, because a well-stocked pantry isn't just about food. It's about security, comfort, and the confidence to face whatever comes your way. You know that feeling when you're cooking dinner and you can't find the rice that you swore you bought last week? Or when you discovered 3 half-used jars of peanut butter hiding behind the pasta? That's exactly why organizing your pantry into zones is a game changer. Today, I'll walk you through how to set up pantry zones that save time, money, and stress, so your pantry works for you, not against you. We'll talk about why zones matter, how to create them, and the practical systems that keep your shelves running like a well-oiled machine. You're going to say, why do zones matter? Let me tell you. Okay, number one, it reduces waste. Food often goes bad simply because it gets lost behind other items. Zoning makes everything visible. It saves time, like meal prep is faster when you don't spend 10 minutes searching for the cinnamon, right? Simplifies restocking. When you can see gaps in your pasta or your baking zone, you know exactly what to buy. It supports emergencies also, and that's something we really need to think about nowadays. If the power goes out or family members need to cook without you, everyone knows where things are. For example, I once had 5 open bags of oats because, yeah, they were scattered on different shelves in different places. Not only was that a waste of money, but it made breakfast prep frustrating. So the solution for that is to create one clear breakfast zone, so everything is in one place. Oats, pancake mix, syrup, honey, all together. When it's organized, it's easy to spot what's low and what needs restocking. Next is the 5 core pantry zones. These are the core ones. So you can mix, match, create your own. You don't have to do it exactly this way, but just to give you an idea of how this works, think of the grains and carbs zone, okay? These are pantry staples that form a base of most meals. They're inexpensive, they're filling, they're versatile. How to store it: store rice, pasta, oats, and flour in airtight containers to prevent pests. Label containers with purchase or expiration dates so that rotation is automatic. And keep everything in one section for quick meal planning. Kind of my little pro tip for this is that clear jars let you see levels at a glance. And I'm a visual person, so that makes my life much easier to know that all I have to do is go in and peruse and I can see what is there and know whether or not I need to stock up on more. The next zone is the protein and meals zone. Proteins are what keep meals satisfying, especially in emergencies when energy needs are higher, right? So how to do this is to group canned meats, beans, soups, and stews together as meal starters. Stack similar cans like chicken and tuna together to avoid overbuying. And then keep items you actually eat. Don't stock a case of beans if your family won't touch them. You're wasting money. Only stock it if you eat it. And if you eat it, make sure you stock it, okay? What not to do: Don't spread protein cans across multiple shelves. It makes it look like you have less or more than you really do. If you're doing a perusal real quick, you go, oh no, I've got meat here and there and everywhere. No, not really, you don't. Because when you go to count it up, or when you come to do a recipe where you were sure you had meat for, and it's not there because it was scattered all over and you just assumed you had 5 when actually you had none, that is something you need to pay attention to. Now, the next zone I find to be very important. It is the snacks and quick bites zone. Yes. This zone saves money and prevents chaos. Snacks are often the most overbought and wasted items of all the things, right? Dedicate one bin for grab and go snacks like crackers, trail mix, granola bars, that kind of thing. Portion ahead to avoid half-eaten bags going stale. They have Ziploc bags, or some such that are in all different kinds of sizes and shapes now. And so if you go through and you buy that bulk item and you repackage it into smaller snack size, number one, it should help you with portion control, but it will definitely make sure that it stays fresher longer instead of having that big bag opened up, and just going stale. If you have kids, keep their snack bin at eye level so they don't ransack everything else looking for it. You want to make sure it's highly visible. And it's not a bad idea for anybody. If it's where it's at, where if it's at eye level, then that's where it's at. And you can reach in there if you need that 2 Oreo snack, or your emotional support Twinkie. Whatever the case may be, it's right there in that one bin. And you're good to go. My grandkids used to dig through every shelf to find granola bars, right? Leaving a trail of cracker crumbs behind them. They would, because kids they're just going after what they're going after. They don't care about the rest of it. So you want to make sure that it's easy access, visible, so that they're not ransacking everything else. Put a label on the bin, snack bin, just for them. And if you have multiple where she ate all of this or he ate all of that, right? Create them each a bin, put their names on the bin, and what's in the bin is what they have access to. So there's ways to play with it and make it work for you and your family. It saves sanity and keeps everything else intact in your pantry. And that's kind of one of the goals. Next is your baking and cooking essential zone. One of my favorite zones, okay? Having all of your cooking and baking basics in one spot streamlines recipes and it prevents duplicate purchases. I have so many examples for this one. So how to do it is to store your oils, your sugar, your baking powder, your cocoa, your spices, all of that stuff together. Keep the spices in airtight jars away from heat and light to extend the shelf life. And that's basically for everything. But for spices, you can buy them in bulk. You just have to store them properly to make them last and be good. Use clear bins for small sale items like yeast packets or gravy mixes, even though I do highly recommend storing your yeast in the freezer if you can. It'll extend the shelf life. But if you get those packets like the gravy packets, the taco seasoning, that kind of thing, a bin specifically for those makes life so much easier. A baking basket can be pulled out all at once for easy access when baking so that you don't have to hunt and pack. It's all right there in that bin, in that basket. And you just pull that out when you're ready to rock and roll and bake up some amazing things. My great example of this is that I was teaching a class on pickling carrots. And I knew I had mustard seed. I could see it in my head. I pictured it. I knew I had 2 different kinds of mustard seed. And I looked everywhere. I moved everything, I thought. I'm like, I am losing my mind because I know I have mustard seed. That's a staple in my pantry. Couldn't find it anywhere. So we went to the store where I had to buy these little containers, teeny tiny little containers of mustard seed for like $4.30 a piece. It about broke my heart, okay? We get back home and Phil goes into the pantry and he managed to locate the mustard seed. It happens. It even happens to me. So you're not on your own. I move stuff around, but apparently in my moving stuff around, I continually blocked access to the mustard seed. It is now sitting right up front. Yes, it is. The next zone is drinks and comfort, because sometimes you need a drink and sometimes you need comfort and sometimes they come together, okay? I'm not talking alcohol, my friends. Why? Because comfort foods and drinks matter, especially during stressful times, but basically day to day, coffee, tea, hot chocolate can lift spirits during power outages or cold weather. So, how you can do this is you can dedicate one section for coffees, teas, cocoa, juice boxes, electrolyte mixes, all the things, right? Keep it all together, all visible right there, all organized right there. If you're like me, you have regular and decaf in the house, so you've set up a system so that you can tell the two apart. And then you've got the stuff that makes it taste good, and then you've got the water stuff, and then you've got the freeze-dried coffee in case the world ends, and all the other stuff. So you can set that all up and make it one entire zone. Keep it accessible and visible. Don't bury these items behind cans or bags because you will lose them. It's a given. What you don't want to do is you don't want to mix comfort items with unrelated foods because they will get lost and they will get forgotten. As I found a container of coffee from about 7 years ago at the back of the very bottom shelf in my pantry because I didn't remember that I put it there. Yeah, don't bury it. Leave it right up front. Stack it high if you have to. Stack it dangerous if you have to. No, don't stack it dangerous, but put it on the floor or something. Make it visible. Do what you have to do to make it visible because if it gets pushed to the back, you have just wasted money. Now, given the price that I bought that coffee at is probably about a third of what they're paying today, but you get the drift. Why organization systems work is because visual zones make it easy to see what you have, no duplicates, or how many duplicates, less waste. It saves you money because you're not rebuying forgotten items because you really do have the mustard seeds, Lisa. You just have to look a little harder, There are ways to make it work for you depending on your systems. But it will save you money by not having you buy duplicates of something that you absolutely don't need. Because most of the time then, you're spending more money than the original stock up. It builds resilience. So during storms or outages, you'll know exactly where things are. And that is another huge factor. If you create these zones, there's like no thought process once you get it set up. You just know that this is where it's at. It's on that corner. It's on that top shelf. It's on that bottom shelf. You know where it is, and it's easier to find. Okay, great, Lisa. So we have all the zones and we have the how and the why and everything. So how do you put it in practice? We'll get to that right after this word from our sponsor. What if your pantry was the best insurance you could buy? Not just for storms or empty shelves, but for everyday peace of mind. Our sponsor today is, you guessed it, me. Pantry Preparedness, the best insurance money can buy, by Lisa Sutton, is your step-by-step guide to creating a pantry that protects your family no matter what life throws your way. This isn't about panic or hoarding. It's about calm, sensible planning. Inside, you'll discover simple steps to build a 30-day, 3-month, or even a 1-year pantry. Budget-friendly strategies to stock up without overspending, shelf life tips and storage methods that really work. You're not going to get any false, fake information here. You're going to have the tools to keep your pantry organized, proven systems to rotate your food so nothing goes to waste. If you've ever worried about rising grocery prices, and who hasn't lately, notice that store shelves are running empty or wanted to be ready for the unexpected. This book gives you the confidence, tools, and peace of mind to be prepared, affordably and wisely. Pantry Preparedness, the best insurance money can buy. Get your copy today on Amazon with the link that is in the show notes, because food security isn't about fear, it's about freedom. By the way, this book also makes a thoughtful gift for adult children, new homemakers, or anyone you want to encourage. Teaching someone how to prepare is one of the most loving things that you can do. Now we're back and we're going to talk about how to put it in practice. Yes. So use bins or baskets labeled by zone. Example, one bin labeled breakfast, another labeled snacks, another with the kids' names on it so that that's their bin and only their bin, or the husband, whatever the case. Label shelves clearly so anyone in the household can find them. Don't assume that because you know, the rest of your household knows. Definitely practice first in, first out. Always move older items to the front when adding new ones, because you will not be saving money if you don't use them. They will go bad eventually, and you have wasted money and time. Do a 5-minute pantry check each week. It's faster than one giant overhaul. It really does help you save time in the long run, even though it may feel counterintuitive. If you just spend 10-15 minutes a week, you can get it done. This week, as usual, I challenge you to pick just one pantry shelf and organize it into zones. Start small. Doesn't have to be the whole thing. Maybe snacks or breakfast items or baking items, whatever works for you. Once you see how much easier it is to find things, you'll be hooked. Over time, work your way through the rest of the pantry until the whole space is zoned and efficient. Number one, you'll have much clearer idea of what's actually in the pantry, but by creating these zones, you'll be able to control it even better so that moving forward, you have the ability to stay on top of it and make sure that you always can fill in the gaps. A well-zoned pantry isn't just about neatness. It's about efficiency, savings, and peace of mind. When storms hit, when money feels tight, or when you just want to get dinner on the table without any stress, your pantry zones will be your secret weapon. I hope that you enjoyed episode number 6 of Pantry Preparedness with Lisa Sutton. I enjoyed spending time with you. If you want to check out previous episodes, I'll put a link in the show notes to take you to all of the episodes. Remember that you can find this podcast on just about every place that you can listen to podcasts. So I hope that you will check it out and subscribe. Until next time, everybody, be safe. Keep stacking it to the rafters, my friends.